Welcome to Mark Twain Lake Fishing Intel. If you would like to become a better angler for bass, crappie, and catfish, we got you covered. Learn the tips and tricks to become a better angler, along with all the daily and weekly fishing reports. The crappie fishing here at Mark Twain Lake can be a blast, from spring, summer, fall, and the winter. Mark Twain Lake Fishing Intel has you covered. So become a member today and enjoy all the great benefits. This month's roundtable is brought to you by 154 Marine, located just west of Perry, Missouri on 154 Highway, your local Skeeter bass boat dealer here at Mark Twain Lake. So if you're in the market for a new bass boat, 154 Marine has you covered right here at Mark Twain Lake. And let's don't forget about you pleasure boaters out there. They've got a full line of Tahoe pontoons ready for the water. And let's don't forget about all the great Excel boats they have as well. And don't forget about your oil changes and your winterizing your boats. They got a great shop. And plenty of boat accessories. Check out 154 Marine in Perry, Missouri. And the Hunting Corner in Monroe City. They are your one-stop shop here at Mark Twain Lake. Anything from ammunition, along with about any hunting rifle you would want. And they also have a nice selection of handguns as well. And don't forget about all the fishing gear they have here at the Hunting Corner. Anything from catfish, crappie, or bass, including fresh minnows and a full line of catfish and crappie rods. They also have a great bow selection, anything from Hoyt, Elite, and many more, along with the many great accessories you will need for a successful bow hunting trip. They will also have you covered in your lawn care needs, push mowers, riding lawnmowers, and a great service department. So check out the Hunting Corner today. And your Missouri land specialist, Luke Mitchell with High Point Land Company. If you're looking for great food here at Mark Twain Lake, check out the Junction Restaurant and Lounge in Perry, Missouri. So let's get to the show.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on our July and August roundtable here at Mark Twain Lake Fishing Intel. We're at the Junction Restaurant. We've got a good panel tonight. We're going to talk bass fishing, we're going to talk some crappie fishing, we're going to talk some catfishing, and we're going to talk some fish habitat. We're going to go around the room. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves and go from there. So you're up.
Aaron Eckelkamp, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers here at Mark Twain Lake.
Lonnie Franklin's Guide Service.
Keith Hendrix, amateur bass fisherman and sometimes lure maker.
Keith Williams, Mark Twain Guide Service.
Dennis Lawrence, Northeast Missouri Angler, YouTube and Guide Service.
All right, so we got a good group of guys here tonight. We're gonna start out by touching base with our fish habitat that's going on. You guys just put it all together this last week.
Yep. So we this past Saturday we assembled right around 100 of them. We're gonna end up having around 108 crappie cubes total, with hopes of building 200 spider blocks. Transport's going to be September 22nd. It's a Friday. Always looking for help with trailers there. Sinking will be the following day, September 23rd. It's a Saturday. We always looking for boats. We're going to start at Shell Branch. Put about 25% of the structure there at Shell Branch boat ramp, and then 75% of them are going to go on Route U-boat ramp there at the state park, 4-lane ramp. So it'll be on that bay area.
Kind of different part of the lake than last time.
Yeah, we're moving up. It's supposedly to the good area of the lake is what everybody says, but we'll see once. So, and purchasing materials for next spring already, so it's in the works.
Aaron's also going to talk about some permit changes on the deer stands for this fall on, hunting the core ground. You want to touch on that?
Yep. So it'll be coming out here on our Facebook page and be shared out from there in the next week or two. But basically, the district-wide policy established in the St. Louis district for the 5 lakes. Starting off with the deer stands. Previously to this, you had to put your stand up and take it out as soon as you went in for that day and you came out that day. New regulation is going to be one stand per person It has to be identified with your name, address, conservation number from September 1 to January 31. So you'll be able to have it out during that time frame. It'll follow MDC regulations on MDC ground. That's the stance of one stand only. Trail cameras, they're going to be that same time frame, September 1 to January 31, and there's not a limit on the amount of trail cameras. But there is a regulation that it cannot be within 100 foot of a access point, and it cannot be on a major access road due to public concern.
Well, do you want to, I know this is a fishing show, but we're a lot of fishermen deer hunt too. Do you want to touch base on a little bit of the food plots that you guys got going on, if you have any?
Yeah. So, of course, our tractor operator has been installing our fire lines around our fields that are going to get burned this year. There's 53 fields. We're going to start burning some of those next week, but then fire lines and food plots will be starting to get planted next week. 52 acres of total food plots around the entire lake, so it's a decent amount. 100 might come across some food plots that were planted last fall that won't be planted that wasn't planted last fall that is planted this fall, and vice versa. So a little change in things, but hopefully we'll get the moisture and they can grow. People can kill some deer off them. There's plenty of deer.
There you go, plenty of deer around. So that's good stuff. Thanks for letting us know about all that good stuff. So, well, let's get into the bass fishing, fellas. You guys want to? We got Champ over here. Won how many tournaments this year?
All of them. He wins about all of them.
He caught all the big fish out of the lake. He
Yeah,
caught everyone.
and I must have already caught him because I'm not seeing him anymore. So, yeah.
So, kind of talk about these big fish you caught this year. Keith. I know you've had
Yeah, I'd like to tell you that I know how it's happening, but basically it could be a 6-inch fish, it could be a 6-pound fish. There was really no determining how you were going to catch the larger fish. And I was struggling catching limits in tournaments, but Rusty can attest, we've had a couple of very interesting fish catches this year, getting fish out of trees and laydowns, and some of them offshore a little bit deeper water. So yeah, I don't know. It just seemed that stars must all lined up just right this year for the bigger fish, because I usually don't catch that many of them. Most of those were caught earlier on a combination of either a jig, and I make some jigs, and I did catch one of those big fish on this little jig that I make. There's a lot of them on worm. You'll catch a lot of worm fish. Fish a zoom speed worm quite a bit, 10-inch worm, and of course my staples always go to the Cinco style bait. I actually fish a big bite trick stick most of the time, and they'll bite any color as long as it's black and blue. So that's kind of what works for me. Other than that, it's just chunking and winding, and struggle quite a bit at times, but they're there. Really struggling right now, getting numbers in the boat and finding much for size again. So kind of back to the drawing board for me. It's gotten tough.
Want to talk about your jig while you're...
Yeah, we can. So this year, and I had a little help from Mr. Williams here with the idea and the concept of it. I don't know that you'll be able to see this, but I'll hold one of them up. We've got a little jig that, so I own the company Mark Twain Lake Lure, MarkTwainLakeLures.com. Got several things that we make. Spinner baits is kind of my forte. It's kind of what I've always kind of been interested in. So I make spinner baits, bladed jigs, a few other things. So two things that I brought tonight are our little Mark Twain magic jig, and it's not intended from the name to just be like it's a magic jig. What it is about the color. So the magic craw color on the head is the only way we're painting this and the only way we're making this jig. Skirt colors are vary. If you go on our website, you can see what we make about 10 different colors. I can make custom colors too. But idea of it is a ball-headed jig that's kind of a cross between a finesse and a regular wood-style jig, not really a flipping jig, something you can drag. One of the tricks is the eye of the hook is a recessed, cross-eyed hook, kind kind of helps with the wood situation. Even though it's a ball-headed jig, it will come through the wood exceptionally well. It does real good in the rocks also, but it really does exceptionally well in wood, laydowns, things like that. It doesn't hang up like you would think. Smaller jig's got a 2/0 hook, the 1/2 ounce has got a 3/0 hook. And we're kind of thinning the skirts down. I'm not using a real bulky, big, long skirt. So it's, again, it's kind of a little bit of a hybrid thought in it, and a bunch of different colors. So that's the jig. The other thing that I'm really high on is the shaky head that I sell. I've actually got a gentleman making these, and this thing has a swinging bait keeper attached to it instead of a fixed bait keeper to screw lock your bait onto, whether you're fishing a Cinco or a finesse worm or whatever it is. So it makes the bait much easier to attach and get on your screw lock and onto your shaky head. When you get the bait in place on it, and it's got a wide gap hook. So when you get your bait in place, one thing that's happening, and the hookup ratio is phenomenal. Fish bites that is movable. So when they have their mouth closed on this jig and you're setting, or on this shaky head, you're setting the hook, with that wide gap hook and the ability for that bait to move down as they've got it, you get a real high hookup ratio on this head. And I used to fish some other stuff religiously. This is the only jig head I fish personally. I wouldn't fish another shaky head, that's it. This thing's on my website too, but it's a phenomenal shaky head. It's a Viper shaky head, is what we're calling it. Kind of a wedge-shaped head design. And we've got them in 3/16 and 5/16 right now. But and in black and in green puppy. So that's enough of a sales pitch, I suppose. On that. But those things are both, in my little lure company, something that I did. I'm not trying to build something that I don't fish. So it's not just, I'm not trying to do this to make money. I'm not the greatest businessman. You know, I'm not the smartest one. You know, I just try to make something that I know works, stuff I've tried, true, tested, had help testing from multiple people. And so my goal is just turn out something a little bit better product. I'm trying to be the cheapest guy out there, but you know, reasonably priced, hopefully. But that's been the goal, is just make something that is a little bit unique to Mark Twain Lake in some ways too. Something you can apply out here. It's where I spend most of my time fishing too. So
You've been on this lake your whole life.
yeah, I started fishing this lake with my buddy Gary Cooper. Basically the day the lake filled. We were virtually on this lake as soon as you could put a boat on it. And the lake was full of those little, the fry, not fry, but the little, we were catching tons of the brood fish that are tons of, I mean, it was just lousy with 6-inch fish the first year we fished. So,
Yeah, the annotated ponds, I think there's a bunch of those.
yeah, but anyway, yeah, been fishing it the whole time, haven't learned my lesson. I'm still trying to figure it out.
But you know, he's sharing kind of what's worked for him throughout the years. He's kind of bringing it on the market. Like you said, you talked with Keith over there.
Yep, got input from him and input from a couple other guys I spent a lot of time fishing with, Rusty Rothweiler. And
he's over here behind
he's
the
here,
scenes.
and my other buddy Greg Zumwalt, and some other close friends that have kind of piloted some of this stuff, check, you know, hey, this works good, this doesn't work good, kind of modified things from there.
Right.
So
That's good stuff. Keith, you want to kind of get into your year and kind of how you kind of got involved with this jig and everything?
I got involved with the jig because